this week's video we'll cover a lovely walk we took across the bay after we thought we were going to be out on the dinghy doing a big explore, but got hit by a north wind, came through and everything just got so rough that we decided to abort that plan on the duck, came ashore and rather did a walk around. So we're going to show you that, and also how we did our headliners in the boat. We finally got around to doing those and they're looking really smart now. We've got our lights in and it's all sorted, so enjoy the video.
Okay, so what Robin has done is he's taken this piece of scrap board as the bulk of the template. He's then taken a hot glue gun, taken some scrap pieces of wood, and what he's done is actually hot glued them onto the template as such along the edge. Reason for that being that we can then get the shape of the cabins and the dressing rooms.
Once we've done the templates, Robin cuts it out of the marine ply, and then we go about fitting and checking sizing in the ceiling itself, making all the finer cuts and details just to make sure it's as near perfect fit as we can get. We have gotten to the stage now where we've done the templates, we've cut the boards, they're all pretty much perfect in size. So Robin's come in and he's created a framework that the headliner boards are going to go onto. There's been a lot of debate about the finish of the headliner boards that we were going to put in. Initially it was going to be marine ply covered with white vinyl. Out at Saldanha we have such limited resources with no trip into Cape Town planned anytime soon, so we thought in the meantime let's just do a painting job, put up the boards, paint them, stipple them like we've done the walls. It will match. If we grow to hate them down the line we can do the vinyling afterwards, but I think it's going to look fine. So that's the stage we're at the moment. We had also never planned on doing an insulation in the ceilings, but then when we saw that we had space here we got to thinking about what we could use that we could source here in Saldanha. So we've initially thought of polystyrene boards. Checked around with a couple of other boating guys and they said that would work. Went out looking, couldn't find it, but what we did find in one of the local hardware stores was this, which we think is put under laminate flooring. It's just a rubbery sort of air-filled stuff, and we thought if we cut that up and glued it to the ceiling it's better than nothing, and we think it'll be quite successful. So coming through winter in Cape Town it's been really cold and we've had so much condensation with water running down the walls at night time, so we think long term that will solve that problem, and also with all the hot places we're going to be visiting I don't think we will ever regret putting this up, because I think it's going to insulate the cabins and hopefully keep some of the heat out as well. So that's the stage we're at now. We've got to get all this glued up, and then as you can see Robin's even marked around the ceilings, because when we put the board up we're not going to know exactly where these are, so he's marked off exactly where the battens are so we know exactly where to drill and screw all that in. And once the board goes in we will then get it painted. I've painted the upper side of the board to make sure it's all sealed nicely against dampness, so that's ready to go in, and then we will do the final painting once it's up. Something else we have in these cabins, in the two aft cabins, is these air vents that actually come through from the cockpit outside. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the ceiling across here and we're going to fit a small computer fan in there, which we will be able to, it'll be very small but it will create a little bit of air movement from air coming directly from the outside of the boat. So that's a detail we've also got to fit into the board before we can get it all painted up.
Once we had puzzled together all the insulation, we taped all the joins together with some tape that we had left over from the heat seal that we had used in our engine rooms. and me being my normal difficult self, I had insisted that the ceiling boards be one whole piece of wood. I really didn't want any joins in the middle. I just wanted to keep the lines as simple as possible. So it made it really difficult dealing with such big boards in and out, in and out. These boards went in and out of the boat so many times for readjustment. I think Robin was really cursing the day he married me by the time the job got done, but I think you'll see at the end it was well worth trying to keep them as one big single piece rather than smaller pieces. Prior to the ceilings going in, the fiberglass was very rough. We had all the backing plates for the deck hardware above the winches, cleats and stanchions, so that is now nicely all covered over.
So we're super chuffed with how the cabin headliners have turned out. All Robin's templating, going backwards and forwards, in and out, checking and rechecking has really paid off because it's a really nice snug fit all the way around. We have the painted finish, which at the moment is a bit shiny, but that does tend to dull down a little bit after a while. And I'm really pleased that we went with no joins in the headliners. I don't know, I'm just particular about not having as least busy areas as possible, and I'm super chuffed that we didn't put joins in there, and it's one big piece. So this is the vent cover. If you remember back in the video, we showed you that there is a air venting point from the cockpit up outside of the yacht, and this is what we've put in there. It's got a 12-volt computer fan in there. Not a heck of a lot of air movement from that, but it does create some air movement, which we will appreciate later on down the line, I'm sure. We are obviously still going to put in some proper fans into the cabins, but this is just additional fresh air coming from outside. With the dressing room ceiling as well, LED light. So, yep, really chuffed with how it's all turned out. We decided this morning, first time in what feels like an eternity, but at least 2 weeks, that we had no wind. And we thought, morale is low, let's give us a boost, we'll go out and do some exploring on the duck today. Well, in the time that it's taken us to get everything ready, by way of a little picnic box and get ourselves sorted, the wind has come up. And it's not looking promising. But we're so desperate to get out of here and get moving that we've decided just to give it a try anyway, and we'll see how it goes. Going to be a bit of a bumpy drive, but we're hoping the wind will settle in a bit. Not going to be fun. This is real desperation to get out. You on camera. Right, fish. refuge in Yachtport. Geez, those waves out there were getting a little crazy, and we're still quite new at rubber ducking around, so we didn't want to take any chance. So we've come into the little area of Yachtport, which is very pretty. This is where we spent our first night after splashing our boat. So we are just in the process of locking up the duck at the moment, and we've decided we're going to take a walk either across there, that is port control, so that's Saldanha Bay port control up there, so we can either go over that hill and we're at the ocean, or take a walk across to the other side of the bay there. But we've heard that there are some fledgling owls just here on the embankment behind us from some other sailors, so we're going to go and have a look and see if we can see them from a distance, not disturb anything, but just take a look. And that's Yachtport, and right down there at the end of this pier, of this walkway, is where we spent our first night on the boat when we splashed her more than a year ago. There's a beautiful old yacht being, looks like it's being restored, although it could quite possibly have been left for a long time, because I see up there, I don't know if you can see, there's a seagull with her little fledglings. And they seem to have walked over to the other side of the boat, but they're up there wandering around, so they're obviously nesting up there. So again, another boat that's kind of neglected, but really beautiful. Oh, such a beautiful old boat. Look at that. Really beautiful. I don't think this is the one they talk about with the big rock in it. I think that's the one, the next one along. For today, and we thought we were going to get a break, but seems that's not a possibility up here. So these are the mussel farms, mussel and oyster farms, the West Coast is known for. In a future episode of our videos, we hope to we have met a couple of people who have said they will take us out and show us the process of the mussel and oyster farming. I think that'll be really interesting. So hopefully we'll have that in an upcoming video sometime soon. This must be the local seagull restaurant, because it's just masses of these crab legs everywhere, as well as all these broken mussel shells. So this is obviously where they come to dine. These gulls are fine diners. Apart from all the crabs and mussels, they're also chomping up some crayfish. That's the life. And there we have the Atlantic Ocean. Like an eternity since we've heard the ocean like this. Over here we've lived in a lagoon. There's no waves, so this is lovely to see in here again. always the treasure hunter. Denver found one of these buoys down in the rocks. It must be from one of the oyster farms, or he's determined to get it up here for some reason. Still in pretty good nick. I wonder what... As a family we hate leaving anything plastic where it can go back into the ocean. So now it's everybody's mission to get all this out of here. It's pretty weighty. Here's Denver at the back there. We found another one. On the other side, went and got that out.
Denver hauled them up to the road and we left them there in the hopes that a vehicle would come past and pick them up.
Okay, so we're debating whether we go all the way around or... Oh, you and I are going to bundy bash down there. Take a shortcut. See if we can find the owls.
It'll take you 3 hours to walk down here.
No. I'm not quite that useless. So you're going to go a long way around, Robin? Robin's shoes are not holding up too well, so he doesn't want to go rock climbing. We'll see you on the other side.
Just watch out for buffaloes on rocks.
Yep, we will. You too. And then you got to slow down and wait for me in case I slide. You're going to have to catch me.
Be calmer for taking your time on our walks.
Patience, people, patience. This is also around about the spot where we were told and saw once before a breeding pair of owls and some owlets. So without disturbing anybody, we're going to see if we can find them. Perfect nesting territory here. Cape Eagle owls. So let's see if we can find them. It was a while ago, so they could even have fledged by now, but let's see if we can see them. So Sundowner Rose, that catamaran there, was the one we were visiting when they pointed out the owls to us. Now Denver and I are in disagreement as to whether we were looking directly across there or a little over there. Actually, now that I see the distance, it's probably over here. So they could have fledged by now, or they're just hiding from the afternoon sun.
This is just some stock photos to show you what type of birds we were actually looking for. The Cape Eagle owl, which is indigenous to this area. Beautiful. And this is some of our own rescues dating back to Belito, our life back in Belito where we did rescue work. This is just a couple of the owls that we rehabilitated and hand reared. They are the most incredible, gentle creatures and one of my favorites for hand rearing.
The dinghy's right across there. Just got to walk around. And here's the baby seagulls. And here's one of the parents giving me very soft warning. Oh, not at all happy that I'm here. Here's Denver, he just told me that as he flew over, he pooped. Almost. Didn't hit you though.
I heard it landing around.
Oh, he's just done it again behind me now. Mom and Dad have still got a lot to say. Watching us very carefully.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. Don't forget to hit subscribe and the bell button if you'd like to be notified each time we put up a new video.